Hello YouTube world, my name is Serenity and welcome to Staying Serene. Today I'm going to be sharing with you on what I learned in my first year of college. So I graduated class of 2019, so this was my first year of college and it was a very interesting year and I'm sure that you know why. Okay, so let's just get into what I learned. So the first thing that I learned is that there's always something new to learn, even in an area that you already have knowledge of. So in my first English class that I took for the semester back in October, there were some things that my teacher taught us that I already knew. So one of them was fallacies, and we learned fallacies in AP English in high school. So I was like, I already know this. And I was just like, wow, I already know this. And I was so confident that I would do well because I already learned this in high school. But the thing is, there was actually more. She added more to what I had already learned, and I was kind of surprised. I didn't expect her to add more to what I already knew. I thought there was just a certain amount of fallacies, and once we learned them in high school, that was it. But no, there was more. And so she taught us more fallacies than what I had already known, and it was kind of eye-opening to me because I'd come into the class like I already know some of this stuff. And when she did certain things, I was like, yes, I know that, I already did this. But there was actually so much more to learn, and so it opened my eyes to always having a learning attitude. Even when it's something that you already know, that you can already identify, no, there's still so much more to learn. So I did learn a lot from that class, and I thought that it would really easy snap with me because I had already learned in high school, but it didn't snap as easy, and I did have to learn more fallacies, but that was just teaching me that there's always something new to learn. So I encourage you that if you're ever in a class and you could identify this, hey, I already know this, don't close your mind off to learning because your teacher can reveal some things to you that you didn't know before. She might teach you some things that you never knew before, even if it's in an area that you already know. So I encourage you to always just be open to learning and open to whatever your teacher may teach you. Number 2 is to not be afraid of taking an interesting class or something that you're just curious about. So not being afraid to take a class that just seems a little bit out of your comfort zone. So even though I'm an English major, there's certain classes I still had to take. And I had to take math and I had to take a science. And the science classes were already closed out. I couldn't get into any of the science classes. So my advisor recommended that I take a social science, right? In high school, I took geography, right? But so that's kind of like a social science. So it's not like I'm new to social sciences, but he recommended to me politics. And I was like, politics? I mean, politics seems so overwhelming, so daunting. It just seems I didn't want to take I didn't want to take politics because politics, when I think about politics, I think about politicians, I think about lawmakers, I think about all this big stuff, and I didn't want to study that. I mean, I don't want to be a lawyer, so I didn't want to take political science. But the thing is, it was actually a quite interesting class. So I took it because I had to. And I was very surprised by how interesting it was and how we were having so much interesting debates and we wrote essays. It really wasn't just law books and rules and laws. No, the politics class was a lot more than I thought that it would be. So that encouraged me to think, instead of just closing myself off, being open to new opportunities, to new classes, and even things that I'm just curious about. Because I do have a small interest in politics. And so that class really opened my eyes to taking something that I might be afraid to take. That class was a very interesting class and I very much enjoyed it. We had so much moving discussions. That class actually was quite enjoyable despite it being politics. So I encourage you, if you're ever taking a class and you're interested in it or you're curious about it, go and see what it's about. And don't be afraid to take a class that just seems so dauntless because you're just judging the class and you have no idea what it's going to be about. So politics was actually surprisingly interesting and I enjoyed it and I'm very glad that I took that class. Number 3 is to never underestimate an assignment. So for my school, I also had to take something related to your health. So there was health, nutrition, PE. I avoided PE. So I took nutrition. And nutrition, to me, it seems similar to home economics because we dealt a lot with foods and fats, carbohydrates, all of that stuff. And there was an assignment that we had to do, and I underestimated it. I rushed it. I thought it was so simple, so I did it so quickly. I did it less than an hour. I had it done, finished. I thought I was good. I was like, this assignment's easy. It shouldn't take so long, so I only took this amount of time, and I just rushed through it, and boom, it was done. So I handed it to my teacher. I was kind of confident. I was confident. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good grade. I did exactly what the instructions said. And then my grade spoke for itself. I got a low grade, and it really hurt. It was like, oh, Serenity, you know you could have done better on this assignment, but you didn't because you thought that it was going to be easy. And I did make another similar mistake in the same class when I rushed another assignment the night before, and I did it really quick, and I had the basics, you know? I had the basics of what we were supposed to do, and I did not get a good grade on that either. I should have done my very best. I shouldn't have slacked. I slacked on that assignment. I could have done a lot better, but I didn't because I thought it was so simple. I just rushed through it, and I had it in, and I was so confident that I would do well, and my grade spoke for itself that I should have put more effort into that assignment. So I encourage you, even if you get some homework on an assignment that seems so easy, please don't underestimate it. I encourage you to take a deeper look. I encourage you to slow down, to do your best on every assignment, and not to underestimate the simplest of assignments, because your grades will show that you have underestimated it. Your grades will show that you rushed through it and that you didn't take any thought or planning or anything into it. Number 4, procrastination is unsustainable, right? I don't know, this year I developed a strong procrastination habit. Strong, especially in the second semester, which was from January to like April. I procrastinated. I'm a procrastinator. It was just so easy to just wait until the last minute. And I found myself doing assignments on the day that they were due. Like a few hours before they were due, I was starting the assignment and completing it. And that was just not sustainable because it was so rushed. It was unplanned. And I also had a lot of stress because I was doing my assignments hours before they were due. In fact, I had like 3 assignments that were due, and I completed them all in 2 days. And that's not to brag. I rushed through all of them. I didn't double check them. I just went through it I didn't do it properly. And it showed. My grades were still okay, but I had errors, simple errors that I could have corrected, like spelling errors in grammar, things that I could have corrected if I had taken the time. It was not planned. It was not thought out. My writing, everything was just rushed. My procrastination had gotten to the point where I didn't feel like doing things in a good time. I got used to doing things rushed, doing it in the last minute, waiting until the last minute. And it was so bad, and it's so unsustainable because I was rushing. I wasn't doing my best, and that I know that I could have done better. I learned that my procrastination is a major habit that I need to kick out of my life because that will not be good for me. It'll stress me out. It'll be detrimental to my health and my mind, and I just don't need any of that. So one of my goals for this summer and for the next semester, for the next year of school, is to defeat my procrastination and be able to plan things better and to do things in a timely manner. I don't want to be rushing because when I rush, it shows up in my work. Number five is don't let difficulties stop you. This year had difficulties. My year started with Hurricane Dorian and ended with the coronavirus. So this year was really, it was kind of difficult. I learned to carry on despite the difficulties. I learned to keep my chin up and just keep on going on. And, this year was really interesting with the difficulties that we had with Dorian and the coronavirus. So it was like the middle time was when I wasn't facing as much difficulties, but I still learned, still going to school, still working hard, even though I was procrastinating and I had other mistakes that I made during this time. Still just doing my best and, trying to learn. And yeah, I learned to just carry on despite these difficulties, these adversities. I learned to grow. I was able to succeed. I was able to get over, well, not get over it, but I was able to get through it, is what I'm trying to say. Those are the 5 things that I learned during my first year of university. I hope this helped and that it was very encouraging to you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Okay, bye.